Good afternoon, Mr. Vivek.
Very good afternoon, Vishwas.
So, before we move on to our to your presentation, which is titled "World IT During COVID-19 and Retail and E-commerce Industry," we would like to have poll question. Can we have the poll question? Yes, as you can see on your screen, the question is: during COVID-19, which of the following did you consider to be of least worry in your IT? A, infrastructure security. Option B, data availability. Option C, remote access. Option D, communications and collaborations. So, meanwhile, the audience replies to this question, and they have around 1 minute to reply that. So, Vivek, I would like to have your opinion on this. What do you think that what sort of what option people will be choosing?
See, Vishwas, actually, all the four options which are being given here, they are quite relevant into today's scenario. However, infrastructure security is something which is, I believe, is going to be on the top of which I believe, because, in what we have seen is in last couple of months after COVID situation, there is lot more, hackers, and the third word has got active into that area, wherein they are doing targeted attacks. They are trying to breach security for large enterprises. You might have seen couple of days back there was a large phishing attack which government of India has announced that can happen. And so probably I believe infrastructure security is going to be the most numbers here. But parallelly, data availability, as COVID situation is, most of the people working from home, all large enterprises, they are working from home. Data availability plays a major role in today's scenario, because availability of applications and things are on the top priority of all the organizations as well as the consumer as well. Remote access, as I said, as most of us are working from home, remote access also plays a key role in that area, because that is enabling workforce to work from home and deliver the way they used to deliver from the offices. The last is communication and collaboration. When we'll talk about communication collaboration, this is the tool which is being used these days, and today also we are doing a webinar on GoToMeeting. And these are the tools which are enabling us to greet people in these tough scenarios, and talk to them the challenges they are feeling, and even addressing their problems around them.
Right.
So good, it's a mixed
Which
bag,
option has
but
got
yes,
the max?
infrastructure security, yeah, infrastructure security has got the max, which I was discussing, so that is something which is there. Yeah.
Right. So Vivek, we have our answers in front of our screen. 34% has gone with option A, which is infrastructure security, and option B and D have both have got 28% of voting share from our audience, and option C has got the least, that is 10% from the audience. So Vivek, before you move on to your presentation, let me tell you that it is very important and very topic like world IT during COVID-19 and retail and e-commerce industry. We all have seen that how IT has played phenomenal role during this COVID-19 lockdown globally. The relevance of IT has become much more because people and enterprises basically using next generation technologies to scale up their businesses and to cope up with the day-to-day challenges which they are facing. So Vivek, can I request you if you can throw a light on your topic?
Yeah. So actually, I have a little latency. Actually, I would like to go for the voice only mode. Probably when we need, we'll come again on to the video mode, because I am having some voice issues.
Sure.
So the today's session, as Vishwas, we were discussing the today's session, we are going to talk about how COVID-19 has completely, changed the retail paradigm, primarily, sorry, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Sorry. So the today's session, we are going to talk about how COVID-19 has completely changed the retail paradigm, right? Consumers are going to prefer contactless journey, as we have heard Mr. Sandeep from Zomato, and then Mr. Amit as well. Contactless is the way forward, which is very normal going to be. And but contactless with brick and mortar, because when it comes to Zomato kind of things, it is one way they are talking about delivering the things to the doorstep of the customer. Secondly, in-dine experiences with most of the restaurants. So we have to make sure we are while contactless, we are secure and safe as well. And similarly on to the e-commerce side of it as well. So I have some data points which I'm going to share in the next screen. So as I said, I have some data points wherein we are going to talk about how your e-commerce and retail industry in last 3-4 months when COVID situation arrived is behaving like. So I have a data here, which the source of the data is Forbes and PwC, wherein the year on year revenue growth for US retailers, it's been in the month of April versus the last year, it's been gone up by almost 68%. And year on year growth for the e-commerce activity during the lockdown in France, that has also gone up by almost 13%. And when it comes to India centric content, what the large research companies are predicting is it's going to go up by almost 25% by 2025. And we have seen a lot of growth into the sector which is fashion, or the clothing side of it, wherein we have seen almost 25% growth in that area year on year when it comes to in COVID situation, because most of the time, and this is I'm talking about the e-commerce side of it, not onto the brick and mortar stores. Can you go to the next slide, please? So when I said, into the Indian context, the Indian e-com market will exceed almost $100 billion by 2022. This is a large research firm has predicted that. Today we are around at $35 billion, and by 2025 it is predicted it will go to $100 billion, and with the growth rate of almost CAGR of 25%. So who is going to be the consumer? The next 100 million customers are going to be different from existing 15 million customers which we have in this industry today. And who are these going to be? Like, most of them are going to be from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, who are going to be joining this wave, and they will going to be preferring voice over typing. Generally, as of today, you see all e-commerce industry, most of the transactions happen over the digital currency, but what is being predicted is they are looking for voice over typing. This is the new generation which is going to be added. They will have uh, they will not mind paying less money for a staggered delivery, or a bigger time of delivery. Low to medium ticket size are going to be the size of the transaction, wherein today we have large to medium size of transactions. And when it comes to e-com industry, it is governed by multiple regulatory bodies, as we know, and there are several horizontal regulations which uh, work along with this industry. So there is a need of harmonization of laws and regulation covering the e-commerce ecosystem, giving the common definition and intent for that. So what probably we need to standardize the regulation to have more adaptation of this e-commerce side of it. And we need a holistic policy framework for e-com to able to do this, because they sometimes adapt to the latest technologies and consumer preferences as well. we need a robust physical and a digital infrastructure to primarily uh, uh, make it happening. Robust data protection framework is required. We need to enable network infrastructure and access. We need to unlock the uh, value of digital payment systems, so that we can have those 100 million odd new users coming to this, and have an chance to participate and buy on for to various e-commerce platform in future. But parallelly, the way is, and in the COVID situation, it is always coming up is this future has to be contactless. And since the pandemic is still prevalent and our lives, retailers are busy preparing for new trends that likely to stay here. The importance of contactless customer experience is going to be on the top. Until unless we are not going to give them that experience of buying which they used to have by physically visiting to those motor and uh, brick stores, it's not going to be making that sense for those consumers. So touchless and voice based interfaces to avoid touch based practices. Earlier, most of the Indian mentality or Indian people on tier 2 and tier 3 cities, primarily they want to feel and buy things. Until unless we are not going to be making them touchless, it's not going to be making sense, or it's not going to be encouraging them to come to the e-com platforms. Then second is facial recognition technology to replace the fingerprint based systems. That is another need of an hour, but it will have especially interesting, we need to watch this how it is going to be, because as we have seen, mask wearing is a new normal of life. So facial recognition algorithms, we need to enhance them, we have to update them, so that with mask wearing, we can uh, recognize the faces of the user or consumer. So in this area, a lot of large research companies, large ITs companies are working on it, to make mask selfies, effort to build a smarter system or a smarter tool for it. And third and the last point is mobile based transactions. uh, Contactless payments, this is going to be the requirement. Self checkout solutions, that is also required, to bring that experience to the customer. So this is the time when we need to ensure on optimal customer experience. The customer journey is changing, so it's likely new steps will have to be introduced to include the technology actually. So we have to include technology driven mobile centric approach, so that the customers can come back to this all mortar and brick stores with a contactless experience, and as a safe buying option there. So apart from this, like, what are the industry trends talking about today is, I have covered most of the trends in last few minutes. However, e-commerce industry, there is a looking for a point of sale system which are giving them an experience wherein they can buy things, beforehand they can do a shopping, wherein they have entire, from placing an order to the delivery, they all have contextless things. They need not to go to the store, and they can buy things as per their comfort of home. Augmented shopping is going to be the new thing. If you have seen, recently Apple has launched iPad Pro. So if you want to have a feel of that product, you can go to Apple site, and you can feel it personally, and it give you an experience. It is a part of you in your space. So augmented shopping and augmented reality is going to be the key, which is going to be uh, uh, so as per Gartner, almost 100 million consumers are expected to use AR into their shopping experience. So for the benefit of the audience, AR is nothing but which overlay digital content and information onto the physical world, as if they are actually within your own space, right? So it will give you an experience like the things are with you, you can see them, or if you're looking for something to buy as a shirt, it will give you and how you are going to be appeared after wearing that shirt. Staff-free cashless stores, I have already covered most of it, So going forward, even once the life comes to the normalcy after this COVID situation, it's not like people will start moving back to, almost the research is like almost out of 87% people who has moved to the, safe cashierless stores, they are going to be almost 60% of them still going to be using the same technology. They want to have this distancing, and they want to have the way they are doing today. Data science is going to be playing a major role in personalization, like machine learning, which is again an application of artificial intelligence, that provides system to availability to automatically learn and improve the experience of the customer. So this is going to be the reality. It's going to be the new norm. Whenever you are going to be visiting to the store or visiting to the website, it will give you the things, it will show you the things which you have of your taste, primarily the colors which you generally like, the kind of price points which generally you buy. It all learn while from the experiences in the past, and it will throw you those things in the future as well. So if you can move to the next screen, please. Vishwas, if you can move to the next screen.
Yes, we are doing it. Is this you are talking about?
Still to come.
Okay.
That has some data points.
Team, if you can help us.
We are right now displaying the screen which says Hitachi working today to co-create better tomorrow.
No, I have to go one screen before, but I am not able to see that screen coming in. It's showing industry trends still.
Are you referring to the e-commerce landscape?
Yes.
So that's being displayed, sir.
Okay, but I think it's not been refreshed. I'm on a very low signal, I believe. Okay, fine. So here, if we'll see the landscapes here, I can see now. So e-commerce landscape during COVID-19, this is giving us reference points wherein what are the things which has gone up, where the customer has gone up and go for the buying of those. Food and beverages is one, which is especially the grocery has contributed majorly in that side of it. Gifts and specialty items, apparel and accessories, which I covered in the last screen also. Toys and home and garden stuff, where customer generally used to go visit stores and buy them, but now they are ordering it online. And what people are not buying online today is like luggage, as the tourism industry is is on the verge of collapsing. Cameras and equipment, swimwear, gym bags, stores and fixture for the display. So this is something which people, the customers are today not inclined to buy. So what has gone up is like bricks to clicks. The what has happened is because of the COVID situation, and this time where social distancing is being practiced in most of the places, it's lockdown, people have gone further, and they are relying more onto the e-commerce side of it, be it the large players, or be it the local uh, neighborhood players in that area. And most of the time you have seen onto the large platforms also, they are only serving you the which are the things which are today required. It's not making sense to throw everything onto that platform, and people are very choosy, very they're looking for a particular thing to be bought for that particular time. So they are looking for a very even the suppliers and the partners of these platforms are only putting those things which are in demand today. Can you move to the next screen?
Yes.
So now we are, we will be discussing how Hitachi system, along with partnering with Dell Technologies, working in this space and enabling retailers and e-commerce companies to adapt, various solutions around it. Can you move to the next screen? here I'm going to give you a little overview of Hitachi Group, and in a couple of slides, and then we'll take further what all solutions we are in. So Hitachi Group, the company I'm representing, is founded in 1910 in Tokyo, in Japan, and it has started with production of a thermal machine, and now we are into a diversified businesses, from pin to plane kind of a situation, wherein we are having almost 20 different verticals, and we are producing products and services and solution around it. Doc, and Higasara-san is our president and CEO, and last year we have done almost 9,480 billion yen business across the globe, and we are 87 among Fortune 500 companies, and we have almost 803 subsidiaries which are in the different walks of life, and we have consolidated manpower of close to 3 lakh, which are present across the globe in all the continents. If you move to the next screen. So the company which is I'm representing, which is Hitachi Systems, we are part of Hitachi Limited, and we are part of System and Services Business Division of Hitachi, which is comprising of 8 domestic companies in Japan, and we have 14 overseas companies. So Hitachi System Micro Cleaning, the company I am representing, is part of these 14 overseas companies present across the globe in as an Hitachi System, which is a system integration company. Please move next screen. So in Hitachi business in India, Hitachi is having almost 32 different subsidiaries working out of India, and they are operational out of India, representing these 6 business lines. And Hitachi India, which is a flagship company, they have solution around information and communication and technology systems. OT and OT and IT is the major offering from them, because we have almost 100+ year of experience together for OT and IT. And Hitachi Systems Micro Cleaning is a pure play system integration company, which I am representing today, and we represent almost 100 leading OEM vendors in the industry, and have product and solutions through them. Hitachi Vantara, which is a storage company, and have a software and a content platform. They also have artificial intelligence as an practice. Hitachi Solutions, which is again a company which provides applications around enterprise resource planning, CRMs, from different OEMs and different solution providers like Oracle or Microsoft, for that matter. Hitachi Payment Services, this is a payment gateway services. We provide payment gateway to almost all leading government banks and few private sector banks also. And we have a subsidiary along with State Bank of India, where we are having point of sale solution for retail through this particular division. And last is Cumulus Systems, which is primarily end-to-end software development lifecycle company. They have solution, they get into a customer, look into the customer requirement, and develop and deploy solution and maintain around it. The next screen, please. Hitachi Systems Micro Clinic, we have when it comes to solution and services, we have 4 different solutions verticals, like digital workspace solutions. So this is a wing which is primarily dealing with end user computing, right from your laptop, desktop, or to high-end workstations, or highly intensive graphical interfacing solutions, or handheld devices. Security solution, I will be covering in next screen probably in detail about this. Autonomics and orchestration solutions, I'll be covering. So here primarily we do solutions. We have solution around managed services, around the cloud, around the infrastructure, around the security solutions, and around some DevOps around maintaining these services. cloud and data center solution, primarily this is again I'm covering in next slide in detail, but however this particular vertical deals with all your you know uh, large cloud players, the storage players, then your servers, network ecosystem. And when it comes to services, we have IMS services, which is infrastructure managed services. So this particular vertical has end-to-end services, right from cable to cloud. I'll be covering this in detail in the coming slides. Data center services, we have solution around uh, data centers, which is a hybrid kind of a solution, or on-prem kind of a solution, or we have solution through third-party large data center providers. Managed security services, where we have our SOC, which we'll give it as a managed security service, where customer can rely on us on end-to-end security products and maintenance of those products. Cloud services is where we help our customer for onboard and maintenance of cloud journey for them. Device as a service is primarily covering where customer is looking for solution on end user computing, and where the scalability with them is an issue. We give device as a service which can go up and go down as per the requirement of the customers. Vishwas, you can move to the next screen. So cloud and data center solution, as I have covered in my past we do lot of assessment services around various data center products. We do implementation services around those products, and we do the maintenance and operation around those services as well. So from the cable to the cloud, we as a system integration company, we are not binded, or we are not biased with one of the OEM. We work closely with almost all leading OEM in the industry and give the t-shirt based solutions to those customers, what is actually required by them, and we do services around it. If you can move to the next screen. Security solution, this is covering all all the four pillar of security environment. Any leading or a mid-size organization, we have end-to-end solutions around endpoint, which is your the last device where actually user work and use the technology. Then to the network side of it, and data security solution onto the data center, and to the content, or primarily the solution around the data which is residing, or with it, which is there as in service with the customer, okay, as in service with us as Hitachi. And then we have solution advanced security solutions, where we are talking about solutions which are the solution which most of the large enterprises and mid-market enterprises have to deploy these days to counter the threats from the the third world hackers and the dark web side of it. Next screen, please. So IMS is the key, when it comes to, because most of the organization who are present in our industry, they are more, selling product and bundling solutions around it. But as in Hitachi, we have a large practice for infrastructure management services, where we do, end-to-end maintenance of, or maintenance and operations for organization, which is total outsourcing way, or a strategic outsourcing way. And that includes from IT service desk to end user managed services, to the data center, to the application, and to the cloud as well. So this is an vertical which offers solutions across across the verticals which we have discussed in past slides, and give the remote support for like 24/7 remote support for all those solutions which are being deployed at customer places, which make customer life easy, and they can rely on Hitachi for this particular services, wherein we monitor and manage their infrastructure 24/7, and on need basis only we'll go back and tell customer and do a remedial actions or remedial solutions also with them. Next screen, please. When it comes to the presence, we are present on in 25 locations globally. We are in almost some 19 locations we are covering out of India, and we have presence in Middle East by headquartered out of Dubai. We cover almost 3 locations in Middle East, and then we have operations in Singapore as well, with the having almost 180 service touch points. But this 180 service touch points means we have our engineers placed in these 180 locations, who are giving services to our esteemed customers on those locations. Have 2000 plus own role employees as of today, and which is going up almost with the pace of some 20-23%, because in our journey of last 6 years we have grown almost with 60% year on year. So is our strength is getting further enhanced into Indian subcontinent, and as well as to the Asia subcontinent as well. Next screen, please. So these are the few esteemed customers. We have almost 700 plus active customers, where we do lot of business with them year on year. And these are the active means these are the customer where we are doing almost billing in every month, some of the other solution or some of the other products. And we have mixed bag in that area. We have customer retail, e-commerce, BFSI, we have telecom, IT, ITS, or manufacturing for that matter. Next screen, please. So for this particular webinar, and we are partnered with Dell Technologies, and we are one of the titanium partner for Dell. And titanium partner means we have all the skill side of it, which I'm covering in next screen. Then we have the sales people and the sales numbers along with it, and then the customer experience as well. So we have been adjudged as partner of the year in 2018. We have adjudged partner of the year in 2019, and then we got our MD, Mr. Tarun Seth, who has got President Circle Award also in 2018 from Dell Technologies. And almost we have almost 20 landmark customer wins in with Dell Technology in past year, and do clocked almost some 17 odd million dollars of business along with them in the last financial year 2019. Next screen, please. So this chart is just highlighting what kind of a skill and competencies we have with Dell. So we have skill resources in sales, in architecture side of it, and then the post-sale maintenance side of it as well. That is why we are being given a title of platinum partner. And with this competence, we are serving all the offerings which Dell Technologies has today into the Indian continent and into the Middle East and Singapore as well. And we are also partner to them for after sales services. If customer has bought Dell products from some third party also, Hitachi can go back and service in warranty or a post warranty for those products when it comes to the services side. Next screen, please. So coming back to the retail, this is a customer where is a large American manufacturing company, and into a retail business for sanitary products in India. And they were looking for a robust solution to manage their retail stores with point of sale systems, with after sale solutions, and a CRM solution. So we have deployed Dell EMC based solution for the customer. And the pain point for the customer was they were having a large form factor of servers, almost some 300 plus servers, which we consolidated to some 60 servers. And further all the application form is going gone onto those servers, and we created a near site BCP solution also, so that in case of emergency, in case of any calamities, they are always available for giving that experience to customer and to the internal users. Next screen, please. And this is the last screen, for that matter. I want to thank you for your time, and want to wish you, you should stay healthy and safe. But I want to give a last message. If you are seeing this particular screen, what it says is, if you have a solution, until unless you do not have a partner ecosystem, if you do not have a skilled partner, those solution also doesn't works for you. Most of the time, this we have seen and experienced in our industry. To run a technology, you need a partner who can help you to bring the value from that solution. And I believe we have some video also in the last to run. Vishwas?
Yes.
Yeah. Not able to hear the voice.
Whereas the voice is not coming.
So not an issue. I just want to, give a messaging. We are in, today the opportunities and the solutions are endless. Here in this particular video, there was a consumer or a lady who has forgot to carry some stuff from the store, and she called up that store, and she asked for, she has left this product there, and with the call, with a single call and the app installed with them, they got the longitude and latitude of that particular customer location, and they were able to ship that product to the customer. This is again a customer experience, and this has been, they're able to do it with IT enabled solution in the back. Vishwas, with this I want to conclude. Sorry, I have overshooted my time with almost 8 minutes.
It's all
Any
right, Vivek.
questions here? Yeah.
Such a wonderful presentation where you spoke about e-commerce and retail sector and your solutions. I'm sure Hitachi would definitely come to the rescue of those companies who are seeking such solutions. So Vivek, I would like to request if you can turn on your camera. I'll be posing a couple of questions.
I don't know whether if it works, but I'll try. Yeah, I'm there.
Right. So Vivek, as we know that more and more people are opting for e-commerce, for digital buying through e-commerce. So how you can help e-commerce companies in these times?
So like as I have covered in my slides or my presentation, so like all e-commerce companies in today's scenario, they are struggling with scalability. If you look for the large platforms, they have been not able to cater the requirement of the consumers. If you talk about if you go back some 10 days back, Amazon, or for that matter Flipkart, had stopped taking orders for deliveries. So what were the problem was? The problem was, they were not able to cater the demand, which is the high demand because of the COVID-19 situation. And this was for two reasons. One, the logistics, they were looking for a partner, logistics partner, who can go and safely deliver to the customer. Second was, the uh, sellers ecosystem which they have, because they have a plethora of product lines onto their platform. However, the sellers, for the particular demand which is there as of today, they were not having an uh, uh, prior thing, prior information, or you can say about prior, they were not able to estimated what kind of a requirements are going to be coming into, and how big the seller system we require. So here artificial intelligence in term of machine learning can be of a help, where they can predict the demand well before, so that they can stock it up the products well before, so that they can uh, cater that demand. And logistics is something secondary, which is human manpower is required to go and deliver. But as an IT, we can give them a solution where they can predict the demand quite early, and they can stock, and they can have seller ecosystem around it well before to cater such demands.
Right, Vivek. Vivek, you spoke about how Hitachi Microclinic is one of the key partners of Dell. So how
Yeah.
this partnership panned out in COVID-19 times?
So just to give you so we have started working more closely, right? What has happened is, in these tough times, what we have seen is there is a drop in demand, and there is also a particular demand from our end user customers, the large enterprises, wherein they want to preserve cash for the tomorrow, or they have an real time cash crunch as of today, or whatever cash they have, they want to retain with them at this particular time. So what we have done is, with along with Dell, we came up with the solution where we have given staggered payment option to our large customers, and we have got a special fund created for that, along with Dell, where we are catering requirement from our large customer, where we are giving them OPEX based solution, where we are asking them to pay that money in next 6 to 8 months. Once that this COVID, they will come out of this COVID situation, we are helping them to sustain into sustain the business till the time this COVID situation is over.
Right, Vivek. Vivek, I would like to understand, how do you leverage your IP, that is managed services, to provide requisite information to IT in decision making, given the context that most retail organizations are not inclined to third-party access to their environment? Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, so as I in your first question also, I answered the tool which we have, which is in our intellectual property, once organization deploy this tool in their environment, and this is going to be so the third party means, what we can do is, we can customize these tools with the customized reports for them only, where they can see those things, and they can go and comply on those suggestions. What we do is, this tool has an artificial intelligence and machine learning inbuilt, wherein within that organization, I'm talking about infrastructure management, if this tool sees that the demand, or there is lot of problems are being reported by a particular set of users on particular outage of an application, so this solution automatically go back and do that self learning, and come with that solution, thing, what is that going wrong, and that particular time frame, why this outage is happening. And then even with the machine learning, it will give a remedial solution also to our customers, where they can look into their suggestion and go and fix that problem. So in COVID time, when we have lesser manpower on the field, on the ground, so this tool has helped our large customers to fix all such issues well in well within their IT team itself, or with the tool suggestion, they were able to fix those solutions. Otherwise, they are going to be relying on to third party vendors to come and fix, where they can have a loss of customer or a user experience, and the downtime as well. So this solution help customer to identify the problems which are coming up, or which comes on a particular time frame, and then it give a remedial action to fix them as well.
Vivek, I would like to request you, if you have any piece of advice for retail and e-commerce players.
Pardon?
I would like to urge you to, do you have any piece of advice for retail and e-commerce players amid COVID-19 times?
So, piece of advice for, it's not for retail or e-commerce, everybody, it is like, this is a time when we have to, stay safe, but yes, we have to deliver also, so we should practice social distancing in our life, and the way we work or at our workplaces or at our homes, so that we will be not get impacted with this COVID situation and this COVID infection, and serve the consumers, and give that experience to them the way we used to do earlier stages, when we were serving them from brick and mortar offices, or malls, or probably from the e-commerce side of it. So we need to stay healthy, stay safe, then only we'll be able to deliver these things to them.
Okay, thank you so much, Vivek. Your presentation was indeed very insightful, and it gave us a broad idea that what sort of solutions Hitachi does have and how retail, e-commerce, and other industry players can be benefited. So I would like to thank you again for your participation, and I'm really looking forward to hear your uh, hear about the latest solutions which Hitachi is offering in the coming time.
Thank you, Vishwas. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vivek.
Thank you very much.